You see the caption. You already know this is gonna be some BS. I haven't seen the video yet, but here you said why. It says why do. Okay, that's a typo in the beginning. So they're basically trying to say why do so many men seem to have a problem with Russell Wilson as a husband and a father? Um, let's see how she presents it. Let's give her a shot. That's a serious typo, but anyway.
I don't understand why men have so much smoke for Russell Wilson for being a good father and a great husband to somebody. I don't understand why y'all mad about that.
Because
why y'all mad?
I'm gonna tell you why people be mad. If people be mad, it's because of the extraness that he does that almost like to try to lift his profile the way he look up and diminish the father. So
or is he just telling the truth of the fact of the matter?
Well, that may be the truth, but but it's too much credit given on that end. I've been a stepfather, but you get extra points for doing what you was gonna do anyway. Yeah, they'll say things like, "Oh, I see your kid more than you." Well, you have to go home, and he lives in your house. Why are you getting so much credit for going home? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're actively doing.
That's different.
It doesn't mean you're actively doing anything. Okay. Oh, look at him throwing football okay, you literally had a game that day, and your wife took the kids to the game where you didn't do anything out of your normal realm. Now, meanwhile, the father has to do things outside of his normal realm of his life to even be there in any moment is an extra move. So what I'm trying to say is, so when you try to post and sub dudes and be like, I'm doing this and I knew it was, that's lame, bro, because you with her, you're with her, you're literally with her every day. That's your wife. And she's with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't get no credit for going home. You don't get no credit.
You take credit for going home. You just going to your house.
Yeah. If you don't do this,
I don't understand why men have.
Yeah. So you heard her at the end. You could tell that she didn't even take anything in, because he said it that was a interesting perspective that he brought. Because he said himself he's a stepfather. So I don't want to hear none about you bitter her. He's a deadbeat. He's a stepfather. So that was an interesting perspective that he brought to this particular conversation. That was very interesting. So I don't want to see none of that in the comments section. But you'll probably still see that because they attention span. Anyway, I'll give you a reason why. It's not necessarily they have a problem with Russell Wilson per se. Men know that there are plenty of Russell Wilsons out there, but they know a guy like Russell Wilson, he's not going to get first pick, right? We know plenty of Russell Wilsons out there that women pass up every day. They just don't have the money like that, or they just don't have the status. We actually know there are actually plenty of Russell Wilsons that we know that make decent amount of money, but they're going to get passed over. And the only time the average broad is going to look at a Russell Wilson is after they've been ran through, after they've been through the streets, after they've been 2 baby daddies and 3 baby daddies, you know what I mean? After their life is a wreck, and then they basically look to a Russell Wilson to bail them out after procreating with a quote unquote toxic future. And I put that with quotation marks because he can't be that toxic if he has like how many kids he has with how many baby mamas? I mean, after baby mama number 3, where does the responsibility lie? You know what I mean? Okay, if you're the first baby mama that fell for it, that's one thing. Second, maybe, but after the third or fourth, after baby mama number 3 or 4, you should already notice a pattern here. But we can, we can continue to keep playing these childish games. So, and then on top of that, when you see Russell Wilson basically being over the top with it, basically almost kind of virtue signaling, doing too much, because we already know what the end product of that situation is. That's going to end in disaster. And on top of that, we know that because of what Russell Wilson did, bailing out Sierra, we knew that the Strags were going to use that and hold that situation up in the air and act like that's possible for them, and which makes the game more unfair, more complicated than it has to be. You know what I mean? That's really why. It's not necessarily that they have a problem with Russell Wilson per se, but that's really what it is. But it's an interesting perspective that this man brought here, him being a stepfather himself, where basically the stuff that Russell Wilson is bragging on is really stuff that you were going to do anyway, because the people that are with you, they are in your domain. That's an interesting perspective. It's basically bragging on, because whoever was in your life at that time anyways is going to basically be part of your life. And it's really the actual baby father, what he brings up, that's going to have to do things outside of the box to be with his kids. Because at the end of the day, those are his kids that the mom put the case on him where he can't even see his own kids. You know what I mean? So I love the perspective that he brought there. But of course, she's a girl like her. I'm pretty sure she's a single mother herself. She's
have
holding
so
out,
much,
you know, she's holding out hope.
Smoke for Russell Wilson for being a good father and a great husband to somebody. I don't understand why y'all mad at that.
Because
why y'all mad?
I'm tell you why people be mad. If people be mad, it's because of the extraness that he does that almost like to try to lift his profile the way he look up.
So the virtue signaling. It's basically a low key way to virtue signaling. Look at him with my jersey on. Look at you know the extra stuff. You know even just the stuff that really doesn't need to be on camera. You know, with the whole last name stuff. You know what I mean? Throwing a football with him and all that, putting that all up on IG. You know, it's the extra stuff that all of us really don't need to see anyways. That's what he's talking about.
And diminish the father. So
or is he just telling the
you know what I mean? And letting people run with that narrative that Future is this bad guy. You know what I mean? So that
truth of the fact of the matter.
Well, you have that may be the truth, but but it's too much credit given on that end. Because I've been a stepfather, but you get extra points for doing what you was gonna do anyway. Yeah, you know, they'll say things like, "Oh, I see your kid more than you." Well, you have to go home, and he lives in your house.
Ding, ding, ding. Like, or you'll even see. Let's put it on the men right here. You'll have the stepfathers actively, because just being like, in my opinion, if just you being a stepfather in general, you're actively what you're doing is, meaning if the father is still alive, you're actively participating in helping the mother separate the kids from the actual father. In my opinion, that's how I look at it. Because just you being there as a stepfather, you are being a rest haven for hoes.
Why are you getting so much credit for going home? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you're actively doing.
That's different.
It doesn't mean you're actively doing anything. Okay. Oh, look at him throwing football with. Okay, you literally had a game that day, and your wife took the kids to the game where you didn't do anything out of your normal realm. Now, meanwhile, the father has to do things outside of his normal realm of his life to even be there in any moment is an extra. Is an extra.
So that's what I want to focus on here. Why do people don't even talk about that part, where the actual father that actually wants to be in the kid's life, now she finds a step gump, right? A step dummy, right? To be in place. Now he has to hope, the actual father has to hope that the stepfather doesn't see, that is not looking at him a certain type of way, whether it just be off of jealousy, whether it be off of just the relationship that he still has with the mother. He's going to have to do things unorthodox to make sure he gets quality time with his kid while still, and then like it still be on point, making sure the kid's okay, make sure the relationship with his kids and the stepfather are okay. Like, he has to do things beyond normal to keep that relationship solid. If she has a stepfather already in there, you know what I mean? Because like I said, women leave relationships more than men. So most of it is women creating these kind of situations where you got the actual father not being able to do what he can, what he do. You know what I mean?
Extra move. So what I'm trying to say is, so when you try to post and sub dudes and be like, I'm doing this and I knew it was, that's lame, bro. Because you know you with her. You're with her. You're literally with her every day. That's your wife. And she's with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
Like that's what I'm saying.
She not listening.
Like, you don't get no credit for going home. You don't get no credit.
You take credit for going home. You just going to your house.
Yeah, if you
All
don't
the
do this,
daddies
if you
gonna run
don't
with
do
that. I don't understand.
You know, I don't. She talk about deadbeat dads. First of all, there's no such thing as a deadbeat dad. That's. I always say I want to challenge. Who's gonna keep it 100 out there? Who's going to keep it 100 out here? Who's going to take that next step outside of Jesse Lee Peterson? Who's going to take that next step? Because people are going to dismiss Jesse Lee Peterson as a troll, and he is a troll to an extent. To an extent, I know what he's doing though. I know what he's doing, but I understand his hustle. But who's going to take that next step? Who's going to take that next step and really just be like, there's no not in 2024. There's no deadbeat dads out here. Not in 2024. You can't call Future a deadbeat. I mean, after how many baby mamas in and nobody's picking up the hint, you're using him. You're using him. Really. Oh, man. Oh, man. You see, sad to see so many bothered by seeing a black woman and her children loved properly. No, it's sad to see that there's so many black male simps out there like you still condoning the fuckery, and you already know what the final product is going to be. It's going to be a disaster. This is going to end in disaster. But normies don't ever see this stuff coming. But it is what it is. But it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Like I said, particularly black men, you need to set standards. All right. You need to really be like, look, no single moms out here. We can't be dating single moms. I made a list when we're talking about overlook red flags. And the reason why I put single mom as an overlook red flag, particularly when you're talking about the black community, single moms know that, okay, I know white dudes is most likely not going to take me. You know, other way, okay, I can rely on a ninja to take on this baggage. So you particularly black men, y'all got to set standards. No single moms. And on top of that, you really got to look at the situation. In most cases, let's keep it a buck. In most cases, a woman is not a single mom just by nook and crook. She did something. She did something to contribute to her current status. Or her mindset did something to her where she sabotaged her own self, where she ended up becoming a single mother. If the woman is a single mother, you have to look at her like, okay, this is a serious character flaw on her end. Men have to be brave enough to say the obvious. You know what I mean? I don't know who's gonna really make that second step. Who's gonna make that second step? Because this is 2024. Like, the game is out here. You got the child support courts being shown on TV, on YouTube, and we're looking at these cases, and they're just like. Just the other day, was on AJ's stream, because women, they always used to say, oh, he's toxic, he's abusive. And I'm talking about women are getting coached by their crooked ass lawyers to just put the abuse claim on their biological fathers so they can get more money from the man and separate the man from the kid more, but at the same time still take more money from him. It's insane. That's how you know those abuse claims are capped. Because if it's real abuse, you don't even want the money from the man. You just want this man away. But you want this man to be still under control, where you're siphoning money from him. But he can't be around you or the kids, because you know that's going to affect the custody, and if what ends up affecting the custody is going to affect your ability to get the paper from him. And I don't want to hear this shit about what that little $135, the little $200. You need it. Clearly, you need it because you're putting a case on him for it. So you need that $200. Humble yourself.